Tonight's big stories, it's official. The SIM registration deadline has been extended for 90 days. The announcement followed President Bongbong Marcos's meeting with the Information and Communications Technology Department and other government officials. However, the DICT said they are mulling to deactivate some services, including social media access, for users who fail to register after some time during the extension period, which lasts until July 25.
And the Balikatan exercises continue with U.S. and Philippine troops focusing on airspace defense. The live fire drills in Zambales featured the U.S. military's top-of-the-line Patriot missiles and its Avenger weapon system. But will these weapons make it into our own inventory soon?
And Morong Rizal introduces its next-generation 911 emergency communications system. This technology allows the municipality to make disaster and emergency response faster and more efficient. The system, which is also being used in the U.S., has been described as a game changer in emergency communications.
From the nation's capital, I'm Gretchen Ho.
I'm Chicky Verhel.
And I'm Sean Yao. The big story tonight.
The government has extended the mandatory SIM registration for 90 days. Its deadline was originally on April 26.
SIM users are once again urged to register their SIMs given that this may be the final extension given by government.
Meanwhile, the DITC said that prior to this extension, more and more Filipinos were already registering their SIMs. Shyla Francisco with the big story.
From senior citizens to mothers and employees, everyone was rushing to have their SIM cards registered a day before the initial April 26 deadline. Alejandro, for one, was frustrated as he had to wait in line for more than 2 hours.
Panggabi ang duty ko, siyempre, kaya magpahinga din ako. Wala pa rin ako tulog, bati talaga ako dahil nagugutom na kami, nahihilo, pwede pa ako.
But not all who were in line successfully registered their SIMs. Jeffrey, for one, told us his telco system keeps recognizing his prepaid SIM card as postpaid.
Sabi nga daw po, hindi nila magagawa ay mare-register via dito sa kiosk nila. So need ko pa pong pumunta sa mismong wireless yung tinatawag po nila, which is yung sa SM po, yung ganun po, which is very hassle.
But the good news is, subscribers like Jeffrey still have another 90 days to register beyond the April 26 deadline. This as President Bongbong Marcos approved the extension by another 3 months. Telco giant Smart Communications Incorporated welcomes this move, saying that it would give them more time to campaign for SIM registration. It added that discussion with concerned government agencies are still ongoing. Globe Telecom likewise welcomed the move, saying this would give unregistered customers more time to comply with the law. Based on the latest data of the Department of Information and Communications Technology, nearly half of the total number of subscribers nationwide have already registered as of April 23. The DICT is targeting 70% of active SIMs within the extension period. For her part, Senator Grace Poe, who sponsored the SIM Registration Act, said that telcos and the National Telecommunications Commission must ensure they reach rural and remote areas. Meanwhile, in a press briefing, DICT Secretary Ivan John Uy decried the bad habit of Filipinos to delay until the last minute. Uy said they recorded an average of more than 1 million SIM registrations per day just ahead of the April 26 deadline. He said that they were able to get many SIMs registered close to the deadline by not announcing the extension sooner.
In the last 2 weeks, we were averaging more than 1 million SIM card registration per day. So that just goes to show that the issue is not really limited ID or anything. It's just our bad habit of delaying to the last minute.
With the deadline extension, the DICT chief stressed that 90 days is more than enough time for everybody to register their SIMs.
This is the last chance. The law actually has our hands tied. We're only allowed to do this extension once and up to a certain period of time.
Now all this begs the question, what does the DICT have in mind to ensure that Filipinos register their SIM cards within the 90-day extension period? Shyla Francisco is back to tell us more.
Sean, DICT Secretary Ivan John Uy added that the agency is looking to gradually limit the services available to the unregistered SIMs. For example, during the 90-day extension, those who are unable to register within 60 days may lose access to their Facebook or TikTok accounts. At the 90-day mark, they will lose all services. The ICT Secretary Ivan John Uy, however, noted that this is still subject to an amendment of the implementing rules and regulations of the SIM Registrations Act. Sean?
Thank you for that, Shyla.
Let's discuss the extension of the SIM card registration further with National Telecommunications Commission Deputy Commissioner JP Salvajan. He joins us live via Zoom. Good evening and welcome to The Big Story.
Hi, good evening, Ms. Gretchen, Ms. Sean, and Ms. Chiki.
Okay. Hi, JP. I guess Filipinos are now rejoicing that we've extended the deadline by 90 days. But, just taking a look at the news stories in the past days, we've been seeing long lines. We've been seeing sari-sari store owners helping Filipinos to register. I mean, with all of that, do you agree with the statement of the DICT chief that it's just due to the bad habit of Filipinos that we haven't reached more than 50% of registrations? And what have the learnings been in getting people to actually register?
Oh, well, somehow the recent numbers will show that is somewhat true, no? In the past 2 days, for example, yesterday we've seen a number 4.5 million or 4.6 million registrants. The 2 days ago, it was around 2.7 million. So we thought that the Filipinos are really waiting until the last minute before they register their SIMs or decide to register their SIMs.
All right, another measure that the DICT is looking at, JP, is to kind of limit some uses for those that have unregistered SIM cards. I mean, how does that even work? First of all, our understanding is that when you don't register it, it goes dead maybe in like 5 days, 1 week. And what exactly can you limit it? Are we talking about access to your banking apps or like Facebook and TikTok, as the report that we just had said?
Well, the law mandates that after the deadline, unregistered SIMs shall be automatically deactivated. So none of the services could be used. But the law doesn't say that within the deadline, some of the services could be deactivated. And it's being studied right now. It was the subject of the meetings between the telcos, the ICT, and the other relevant government agencies. And the legalities and the technical aspects of it are being looked at if it can be implemented within the 90-day period extension.
JP, actually, it's been in the headlines that, the 90-day extension for the SIM card registration has been in the headlines. Now, people have been actually asking, are you considering for the IDs, instead of government IDs, can company IDs or school IDs actually be considered for verification?
Well, we are constrained with the provisions of the law. The law says that valid government-issued IDs with photo or other similar documents with photo could be considered. And the law also identified 16 types of government-issued IDs and added one catch-all provision, which states that all other valid government-issued ID with photo. So we're, as mentioned by Secretary Uy earlier, even barangay IDs are considered. As long as it's government-issued ID and has a photo of the subscriber, it will be accepted by the SIM registration platforms of the telcos.
Right. Speaking about this ID problem, just to as a tangent to what Chiki was asking, there have been actually most of the trouble, I think, with people who do know about SIM registration and who have tried to register their SIMs, especially with the prepaid SIMs, is this ID issue. Sometimes there is a mismatch. Is this also one reason why you extended the deadline? And also, how are we addressing this moving forward now that there is an additional 3 months to register?
Well, we've seen those issues, just a few of them, and we've already alerted the telcos insofar as those mismatch issues are concerned. They're looking at their systems, how to improve it further, how to add some patches so that it could accept those photos and make the experience of the users more easier and more pain-free in registering their SIMs.
Sir JP, there are also concerns with foreigners getting their own SIMs once they enter the country. What is the protocol now on that end? Is there also an extension for them? How do they get their SIMs and what is required?
Yes, but let's be clear about it. The 180-day period applies only to active SIMs, meaning those SIMs which are already in use prior to the effectivity of the law. But for those new SIMs, or for those SIMs yet to be bought by the public, even foreigners, the process of registering your SIMs is continuous and it will always be there. Because when you buy a new SIM, it's in a deactivated state and you cannot use it until and unless you register your SIM.
All right, we'll get more details on that. But for now, thank you very much, NTC Deputy Commissioner JP Salvad, for bringing the good news to a lot of Filipinos.
Thank you.
And just like in registering a SIM, one will be asked to provide proof of identification, or simply put, an ID. For those who still don't have one, like fresh college graduates looking for jobs in a few months, how easy is it now to get your first valid ID? More on that in this report by Francis Orsho.
For first-time job seekers, processing requirements for work can be taxing, especially for those who have yet to secure valid IDs.
Medyo hassle lang siya kasi hahanapan ka rin ng valid ID rin.
Many share the same sentiment as Andrew. After all, students fresh from college usually start processing personal documents once they get hired. For some like our age, the challenge lies in figuring out where to start.
Ang hirap kasi kailangan ko pang magtanong sa ibang tao kung paano yung process nito, kung saan to kukunin, kung saang branch.
For starters, most government-issued IDs are now processed online and are appointment-based. So to save up on queuing time, do your research first and book an appointment before going. You should also allot a few days for this agency to process your requirements. Then there's also the waiting time for the actual ID to arrive. This would depend on what kind of ID you're trying to get. If it's a driver's license, you need to undergo driving courses and medical and practical exams before you can actually get an ID card. But as of now, the LTO has warned of ID card shortage. For those applying for a Unified Multi-Purpose ID or UMID, it would take about a month. For the PhilSys ID card, it would be 6 months or more. But here's where it gets tricky. Application for some primary IDs have been suspended now. Last March 10, PhilPost suspended the processing of postal IDs until further notice due to technical issues. There's no official announcement yet on whether postal IDs are back. So the question now is, how can one submit ID requirements if these requirements are not readily available in the first place?
Well, it really does feel like choosing your burden when you're just starting out, but how can fresh grads make things easier? Francis Orsho has some tips.
Gretch, the best thing really is to start early, meaning if you're still about to graduate or maybe in your senior years, start prepping requirements. One of the easiest IDs to apply for is the NBI clearance. You just show up on the day of your appointment and hope you don't get a hit. Also, don't forget to process other things like the SIM registration or your banking records. All of these sound a lot, but if you get it done ahead, then you'd have no problem later on. Gretch?
You gotta take notes on that. Thank you very much, Francis Orsho. Up next, newly appointed PNP Chief Police General Benjamin Acorda calls for Serbisyong Nagkakaisa, a unified service anchored on the administration's call for unity and nation building. We'll know more about this and his plans for the police force when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
You're watching the big story here on One News. Newly installed PNP Chief Benjamin Acorda Jr. faced the media for the first time and shared his priorities for the National Police Force. Acorda is pushing for a unified PNP under his watch. He says he wants each police officer to treat one another as family. Apart from this, Acorda says he will be prioritizing internal cleansing in the PNP, continue the campaign against illegal drugs, as well as counterinsurgency and counter-terrorism efforts. Acorda replaced Police General Rodolfo Azurin Jr., who stepped down on Monday after reaching the retirement age of 56. Acorda will serve as PNP chief for less than 8 months. He retires on December 3.
And here to talk to us about his new post, we have on the line PNP Chief Benjamin Acorda. Good evening, sir. First of all, congratulations on the appointment.
Yes, thank you very much, Yang, Regina, and Gretchen, and to all the listeners, good evening.
Hey, sir, you are pushing for a unified PNP. Is this your official thrust? You just have about 8 months in office, and do you see right now a serious internal problem that needs to be solved?
There's not that the serious problem that you're pertaining to is what we call that with the unity. There's no such thing as problem. But what I want is that we call it servisyong nagkakaisa, wherein I want that it will be a service that is a result of unity within the PNP and also with the interagency coordination. There is unity, and also with the community. That's what I wanted to emphasize in my leadership as the new chief PNP. And with regards to the internal cleansing, we intend to continue to do that, and we will emphasize that it will be decisive and quick when it comes to giving punishment and rewards. Also, we want that the support to our line units, especially those who are in the street level performing ground operations, they will be properly supported logistics and financial support.
All right, General, just going to jump in there and take it from what Gretchen asked you. This internal cleansing, under the term of previous PNP Chief Azurin, there was a 5-man team that was made to review all the courtesy resignations that was requested by DILG Secretary Abalos. What happens to this now that it's already your term, and I think that was not wrapped up in the previous term? How are we going to proceed with this?
No, it was wrapped up. Everything was submitted to the Secretary of Interior and Local Government. And from there, I'll get... Hello?
Yes, sir.
Is the line on?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Loud and clear, sir. Hello? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello,
Yes,
sir. Hi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as I was telling, the result has been submitted and wrapped up by the advisory group, and we'll just wait what will come out next.
All right.
Sir, the drug problem in the Philippines has been a long-standing problem. So how do you plan to actually move forward regarding this issue?
Yeah, with regards to the drug problem, we intend to address that in 2 ways, in the demand and the supply reduction. We will go to the high-value individuals and to the street-level individuals, meaning it will be the intelligence-driven. Our operations will be targeting these personalities who are identified to be involved in the selling, pushing, and trade. And also, what is important is that we will also promote awareness. Actually, the Secretary of Interior and Local Government is very active in this. He is doing the BIDA program, and he's going from one region to another, promoting awareness to the community. Because what we know is that it's useless that we are only focusing on the personalities involved. We need also to address the awareness. We need to inform the community about the ills of these drugs.
Sir, mayroon po mga senador who are commending your appointment. Sabi po nila dahil kayo po ay nagtrabaho sa intelligence at counterintelligence that you are perfect for all the problems the PNP is encountering right now. To your knowledge, sir, gaano katagal na po yung ganitong kalakaran sa loob ng PNP?
May I be clarified in what kalakaran po?
Yung nangyari po dito po sa drug hall, yung iniimbestigahan po natin, gaano katagal na po nangyayari yung ganun po na mga modus within the police force?
Well, I've been with the CI, with the counterintelligence. I've handled counterintelligence, and we receive report. Medyo may mga practice na na-receive natin na report, and it's only now na medyo talagang when it comes to evidentiary value ay medyo talagang may matutuluyan ng makakasuhan. Unlike before, that it's more of yung tinatawag natin na intelligence report, which is but won't suffice yung filing of cases,
Alright,
especially criminal cases.
Alright, sir, before we let you go lang, no, very quickly, nakausap niyo na ba si Presidente? At ano po ang number 1 marching order niya sa inyo?
Yes, as we mentioned, yung mga focus areas, of course, the crime prevention activities. It's also the illegal drugs, and also to work harmoniously with the local government and to promote the business climate, because we know very well that with the problematic areas, if our investors or the tourism industry will not be somewhat promoted because of piece of their problem, medyo may problema tayo. Mas maganda po yung nagtulong-tulungan, especially pagdating sa pagdating ng mga investors. We need to make it sure and make it convince yung mga tao na mag-invest at ang kanilang lugar na pag-investan ay tahimik at mapayapa.
All right. Thank you very much. We've already taken a lot of your time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Once again, congratulations po sa inyong appointment and good luck. PNP Chief Benjamin Acorda.
Filipino troops got the chance to try out some more advanced defense equipment brought by the U.S. for the Balikatan exercise. A live-fire demonstration was held in San Antonio, Zambales, using these air and missile defense system brought from Mississippi. One of the equipment used is the pride of the U.S. Army, called Patriot missiles, marking the first time it was fired in the country. The U.S. also sported its Avenger weapon system. It looks like huge vehicles armed with Stinger missiles.
This system is lethal, combat credible, has a history in crisis, conflict, and peace to both assure and deter.
While the venue is only a few kilometers away from Scarborough Shoal, which China also claims, the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command underscored that they do not intend to provoke any country and that it has no connection as well with tensions and territorial dispute in the West Philippine Sea.
Balikatan is against no particular individual country, adversary. It's an opportunity to exercise between our militaries with also some other partners involved. For me, whether it's the South China Sea, whether it's the Northern Philippines, whether it's in another country in the near abroad, it's the point that we're doing it. It's the point that we're doing it together.
And after the break, the local government of Morong in Rizal is investing in disaster preparedness and emergency response. The LGU just launched its next generation 911 communication system. Find out how it works when we return. Keep it here on One News.
You're still watching The Big Story here on One News.
Residents of Morong, Rizal can now expect quicker response when calling authorities for help during emergencies. The LGU is set to become the first to use the next generation advanced 911 system in the country, a more advanced digital technology for emergency communications. The technology, which is also being used in the US, uses internet protocol technology to transmit voice, text, and video messages between callers and responders. Morong's 911 emergency hotline introduces some new features like geofencing, which allows residents to directly reach the Morong Command Center instead of being directed first to the main command center. The LGU says the next generation 911 also has a backup satellite that assures 99% signal connection even when telco signals are down during calamities. It allows responders to determine the exact location of callers, so residents are warned not to use the hotline for pranks. The next generation 911 will officially be launched in Morong in 3 months' time.
Very excited po rin ang mga kababayan namin sapagkat alam po nila na magkakaroon po ng 911 rito sa bayan ng Morong. At iniisip po nila na ngayon ay magkakaroon na sila ng peace of mind.
And News 5 got a chance to interview the stars of the upcoming HBO series White House Plumbers, where they expressed their excitement to meet their Filipino fans. Deep, with a touch of humor based on historical events. That's what we can expect from the upcoming HBO series, The White House Plumbers. The series is all about the behind-the-scenes story of the Watergate scandal, one of the most controversial political issues that led to the downfall of former U.S. President Richard Nixon. News 5 got a chance to talk to the series leads, Oscar-nominated actor Woody Harrelson and Emmy winner Justin Theroux, who will play the roles of E. Howard Hunt and G. Gordon Liddy, two prominent figures in the Watergate scandal. At the interview, Harrelson praised the Philippines and expressed his desire to return with his co-star to explore the beauty of the country and experience the warm hospitality of the Filipino people. White House Plumbers will be available to watch on HBO Go in May.
Hey, hello to all the wonderful people of the Philippines, and I was over there for a while staying at a place called The Farm, and I would love to get back over there sometime. Wonderful folks.
I would have loved to have been invited to The Farm in the Philippines, and
You
I
wanted
haven't
to
been
go.
there. Yeah, I wanted to go.
Okay, I'd like to
So
invite
if there's
you.
any, well, no,
when we
it's
go
too late
back.
now.
No, but if
If
we
there's
go
anyone in the
back,
Philippines that wants to invite me to The Farm, I'm happy.
And before we go, supporters, friends, and family paid their final respects to former Foreign Affairs Secretary Albert Del Rosario, whose remains have been cremated earlier today. And before that, Del Rosario's family held a funeral mass for the former top diplomat. Among those who attended the mass were retired Supreme Court Justice Antonio Carpio, former Ombudsman Conchito Carpio Morales, and former Senate President Frank Drilon. The Signal family is also offering its thoughts and prayers to Del Rosario's family and friends. Del Rosario served as chairman of the board of Signal TV since 2021. He also served as the director of MediaQuest Holdings, TV5 Network, Signal TV, and PLDT, among many others. MediaQuest says it has been blessed to have been guided by Del Rosario and that it is truly grateful for his service.
Again, our sympathies go out to the Del Rosario family, and that's the big story tonight. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. You may also log on to onenews.ph for more in-depth analyses. I'm Sean Yao.
The Big Story is also available via Signal Play app. Make a free account now at signalplay.com and stream One News anytime, anywhere. I'm Chicky Verhel. Stay safe, Philippines.
And I'm Gretchen Ho. We are One News, all sides, all the time.